Here's a very important question. What's your number? I love this question. What's your number? Not the way you think I'm probably meaning it. What's your number? What's your number? What do I mean? So Walt, I know this is an outdated, I should have like a Yellowstone reference or something, not Breaking Bad because we've moved on. I know, but I'm gonna talk about Walter White one last time. Walter had a number. His number was $737,000. That's what he needed. He needed to cook up some meth to get that $737,000 to make sure Skylar and the kids would be okay once he checked out, because it was too late to get life insurance. Another topic we're going to touch on because it's another massive failing in our industry. No, we're not going to talk about clients, we're going to talk about you. So Walt's number was $737,000. What's your number? If you don't know, if you don't have a specific number, you don't stick to a plan, well, I mean, hey, I wish I could say next thing you know, you got $81 million cash in a storage locker, but that's probably not how it's going to work out. How about your number's $2 million? How about your number's $2 million? What do I mean? What do I mean? $2 million in the bank? What does that look like? Pick a number. I'm giving you this backwards. I'm making it a little more work. Pick a number, track your number, and think about what your current status is. I've put 2 million up there. I could easily have put 5 million or 10 million, but 2 million is attainable. It's easily attainable in our industry. $2 million at a 6% ROI would throw off $120,000 per year of income for you to live off of. That'd be an okay retirement. Okay. 20 years ago, a very intelligent gentleman said to me, Dustin, if you don't have 10 grand a month when you retire, you've got no kind of retirement. It's no kind of life. It's no kind of living. He was living a very good life, absolutely. But that was 20 years ago. So I don't know where I need to be now, but that's where this number came from. Thank you, Colin. It's great advice. Lots of good advice came from that gentleman. Anyway, $10,000 per month, that would be probably a pretty comfortable retirement, because in retirement, hopefully everything's paid off, right? And your home, your vacation home, that's all paid for. Maybe you got a couple of rentals, maybe they're even paid off and it's just throwing some additional money your way. So if a 6% ROI is something you believe in and a $10,000 per month retirement fund would work for you, then $2 million is the answer to the question, what's your number? $2 million. So how close are you to building up this $2 million nest egg that's going to throw 6% off? Well, as we just went through, for a gentleman who's closed $500,000 of income 5 years in a row, but given $134,000 to the government instead of leaving it inside the corp, he's a little bit further away than he could have been, right? Like, think about that. That's how fast this could, that's like 650 grand, 670 grand roughly, 670. You're a third of the way there in 5 years. That's incredible. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, and I say it to myself, and it annoys the shit out of me, but the reality is, we are all just a depreciating income producing asset. That's what we are. Some of us are depreciating faster than others. We are, because you're not getting your nap and you're not meditating and all those important things we got to do. I know I've been depreciating a little faster this week leading up to this, but it's okay. I wanted to try and deliver the goods here. The goal in life has to be to replace ourselves with appreciating income producing assets, right? Like, this isn't going to produce the income forever. So I better get something else that is going to produce it, right? Some of you are thinking, maybe I should remarry, right? Whatever. Real estate, that's the best spot, right? That's the best income producing asset, without a doubt, real estate. We're in it, we know it. So who's doing any of this planning for you? You better be doing it yourself, because here's a crazy stat that I love sharing. 49% of certified financial planners have no financial plan of their own. What? What? They haven't put their own plan together? And that's the 49% that were honest enough to say that. Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would have been like, I ain't going to admit that. So that's a terrifying number to me, because it's like the iceberg. I mean, there's got to be another half of the half that they got no plan. They're just smart enough to not acknowledge it. 65% of certified financial planners, 2 out of 3, own none of what they're advising you to buy themselves. None. Man, if you're not eating your own cooking, I am not touching that dish. No, thank you. That is just weird. So we're gonna sit down and have a meal together, and you're not gonna eat what you cooked up? That is like, I've seen that scene in a movie before. I'm pretty sure that ends badly. So, favorite question. What have you done with your own mortgage and why? This is like a little sidebar real quick. This is a great question that I advise clients to ask of their banker and broker. Like, you should advise your clients to ask you and anyone else they're gonna go have a conversation with. Well, you know, we really appreciate your time today, but we're gonna shop around, we're gonna talk to a few more brokers. It's always a little heartbreaking when they say that. Give them a takeaway. Absolutely. I understand why you wanna do that. So take this question with you. What have you done with your own mortgage and why? Because I can answer that question. I can talk about my residence, I can talk about investment properties, I can talk about why I chose variable, I can talk about why I went to this lender. I can talk about why I took the property to 80% LTV, even though I didn't need to. I can talk about why I took the maximum amortization, even though I want to pay it off faster. Don't pay it off faster, that's crazy. 1.2%, why would you want to pay that off faster? That's just a dumb idea. There's way better places to put that money. But that is a great question. Now, why not ask the same question of your certified financial planner? What have you done with your own investments and why? Where is your money? Why? You know, and the gentleman that I've had conversations with, he's been a guest a couple of times, he made it clear. Here's what I'm doing. I'm incorporated. Here's how I'm structured. Here's where my spare money goes. The spare money that you have when you're incorporated, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. May I see your tax returns, credit report, and investment statements? Why not? I mean, I met an individual who was so confident that about what he would deliver in value, he kept his tax return on top of his desk, facing his guest. You go sit down across from this gentleman, his tax return is right there. The year I went to see him, it said he'd made $12 million last year. That's his resume. Am I worth your time? I made $12 million last year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to what this gentleman has to say. Or I'm at least gonna absorb some of it and take some of it away, right? I don't think any of us have the guts to ask our financial planners to see their tax returns, credit report, and investment statements, but imagine if you were a financial planner that actually put that out there to the world. Whew, right? I'm gonna show you my TFSA statement, and it's not pretty because I didn't take my own advice. I did, and then I zigged when I should have zagged, and I'll show you the reality of it. So, as I say, always be incorporated if you're committed to success. If you're committed to this profession, be incorporated. Because if you're committed and you're all in, you're gonna succeed, you're gonna have a breakout year, you're gonna earn that extra $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000, and the government's gonna take half of it, and you're gonna be totally deflated. Totally. You're closing files for the Fed. Why? You don't need to do that. You are self-employed, you have no pension. This is your pension. This is your future that I'm talking about. This is why people wind up working until they're 80 years old, because they don't do the things that we're talking about here. I'm not that passionate about this topic at all. So when to incorporate? Today, it's Friday, it's still a business day. We're still inside business hours. Get it done. Get it done. Monday at the latest. Get it done. Oh, but my accountant said, they said not to incorporate until I make $200,000. All right, you're liberated. You need a new accountant. If you're in Ontario or you're in BC, I have great recommendations for you. I've got 2 fantastic accountants, very focused on incorporated individuals, mortgage brokers in particular. Happy to make the referral. because you got to break up with this person. If that's what you were told, and you've been making like 130, 170, 150, and especially if you're a second income in the household, so your money's kind of not even really needed, and oh, but it's okay, I've been maxing out my RRSPs. Oh my God, why would you have an RRSP? This is the worst thing ever. Ask a 72-year-old how happy they are. They maxed out their RRSPs. They are not happy. Now, they discovered the thing called a RIF. What's a RIF? It's a thing that completely screws you up when you get older. You don't want RRSPs, you don't want a RIF, you want to be incorporated. That's the beauty of the business we're in. The other thing accountants like to say is when you have leftover money, I'm just gonna try and keep the passion clamp down a little bit, but this one really, really makes my head explode. You're never gonna have leftover money unless you incorporate. You have to incorporate to get the leftover money. That's the whole point. The $134,000, the $40,000, that was leftover money. Why did they have that money? Because they were incorporated. That's why. That's why. And even that $7 grand, $6 grand, a little bit of leftover money, still important. And just some bonus dumbass comments. Oh, you'll have to file T2s, like they speak in code. Well, what's a T2? Well, it's a corporate tax return. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means more work for me. Okay, but don't you bill me by the hour? Well, yeah. So wouldn't that mean you'd make more money? Well, yeah. So you don't want to make more money? Well, oh, no, it's not that. How many, here's a question for that accountant. How many clients do you have right now that are incorporated? That's not on the slide, but that's a killer question for your accountant. Because a broker told me they asked your accountant that question, and guess what the answer was? 0. And they didn't know how to file a T2. And they didn't want to have to learn for the sake of one client. So there she was, 230, 240 grand worth of income, sole proprietor, all gone to the government. Unbelievable. You'll need another bank account. Holy crap. Yeah, you will, because you're going to have so much leftover cash, you're going to need 2 accounts to carry it. Yeah, you need another bank account. That's the point. Getting a bit of a divorce from your money. Getting ahead of myself. Be incorporated, just in case I haven't made it clear. Superior resources along these lines, brokers that you know and respect who have their act together, right? There's a lot of brokers out there that have a lot of great material on this topic. I mean, where did my advice come from? Well, as I've said, my advice came from one of the founding partners of one of the largest accounting firms in Vancouver at the time. And I just got lucky. I got very high-end, absolutely unaffordable accounting advice from my teenage years on. And that was priceless, priceless. And I'm giving that to you here, and I'm hoping that you're going to reap the same kind of rewards.